Okay, good evening. Welcome to Rugby Brough Council's Cabinet meeting. I'm Councillor Michael Moran, Leader of the Council and Chair of the Cabinet. The meeting is being web streamed to the public through the Council's YouTube channel. During the meeting, when asked to speak, please use the push to talk button in the microphone in front of you. Before we begin the formal agenda, I'm obliged to read out the following fire notice. There is no fire drill scheduled in the building this evening. If the fire alarm does sound, then please could I ask that you make your way out of the building down the main staircase and out of the main doors to the town hall and congregate at the entrance to Caldecott Park. An officer of the council will give instructions on when it is safe to return to the building. Okay, so again, welcome to you all. It would be remiss for me not to point out, Councillors Picker, Paul, you look a lot more comfortable on that side of the town hall. Yeah. No. It's as if, I don't know, you're more at one with your conscience, so it's very good to see you, as ever. Okay, just moving on to the agenda, part one of our public business. For the minutes of our meeting held on the 4th of November 2024, do we have a proposer? Second? Yeah. Councillor Mission, we're 6 foot away. We can hear you.
I will move the minutes of the 4th of November 2024.
I'll second if you like.
Thank you. And all in favour? Okay, thank you. That's carried. And so moving on, item 2 on the agenda, apologies. Do we have any apologies for absence from the meeting?
Chair, we have no apologies.
It's as if it's pantomime season. So, okay, thank you very much, Deputy Chief Executive. Okay, moving on to item 3, declarations of interest. To receive declarations of A, non-pecuniary interests as defined by the Council's Code of Conduct for Councillors. Do we have any? Edwards.
Thank you very much. My microphone really doesn't want to work today. Can I do a non-pecuniary?
Yeah, I'd also like to declare a non-pecuniary interest for item 7 as a trustee of Newbold Village Hall.
And item number B, pecuniary interest as defined by the Council's Code of Conduct for Councillors. Any in that category? And category C, notice under section 106 of the Local Government Finance Act 1992, non-payment of community charge or council tax. No. Moving on, question time. Deputy Chief Executive, do you have any questions here?
There are no questions, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so moving on to the Growth and Investment Digital Communications Portfolio. Item number 5, South West Rugby Master Plan Supplementary Planning Document Updated Appendix K for adoption. Can I hand over to you, Councillor Robinson?
Yeah, I would like to move that Cabinet approves this and recommends the Council to adopt this updated SPD, the Appendix K document. It's there's been a lot of work to and fro with the various stakeholders to reduce the gap at the moment in the viability. It's not that, you know, this is going to change again, I'm certain of it, and we are still working on that. So, you know, there may be some more to update at full council, but for now I'd like to propose that we put it forward to council as is.
Chair, I'll second the recommendation.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Can I invite Councillors Pickett or Poole if they would like to speak on this?
I'm sure we'll have a bit of a further discussion next week at Council, but this item's already been debated quite extensively by Planning Services Working Party, and I'd just like to thank the officers for the work that they've done to try and get this all sorted, as obviously it has been in the works for a little while.
Thank you very much. Any comments or any comment from the Liberal Democrat group?
No, going to full council.
Okay, great. Can I then ask for all those in favour to move the item forward? Okay, thank you. That's carried. Thank you very much. Okay, so continuing with you, Councillor Robinson, item number 6, Statement of Community Involvement.
Hello. Yep. So this revised statement of community involvement it kind of commits us to what I would describe as the minimum that we would always intend to enact in terms of community involvement in planning decisions. So I suppose the only thing that I'd like to add to it is the emphasis on the minimum, and that we're always looking at ways to go further in that. But yeah.
Chair, I'll second it.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mystery. Do you have anything from the Conservative group for this one?
Maybe at full council.
Thank you very much. And from the Liberal Democrat group?
Refer to my previous answer.
Excellent. Great. Thank you very much. Could I ask for all those in favour then of the item to progress forward? Thank you very much. That's carried. Great. Thank you. Okay, and finally, item number 7, UK Shared Prosperity Fund, Year 3 spend, Councillor Robinson.
Hello. Yeah, thank you. So this one, I'm scrolling all the hundreds of pages trying to find it, but I think I kind of remember pretty much. We've got, there shouldn't be any surprises in this one. This paper is it closes the loop on the unallocated funding from the final year, which was the identified in the last paper that went to full council. This isn't going to full council. This is just for cabinet approval on that remaining spend, which we can do. And so, the projects are for Ben Partnership, Newbold, and Newbold Village Hall, and the other one's got a Caldicott. Yes, I'm coming to that one. Hill Street, that's it. So those 3 were chosen. We went across all the groups to ask for recommendations around how we could spend the remaining funds. When I spoke in the chamber before I was appointed to the UK SPF group, and I can see Councillor Picker behind me, I commented on how I felt it was really important that we did direct some of this funding in to improve our levelling up within the town, to direct it towards that we're less privileged, and that we would look at groups that would communities of all types where we should best invest. And so that's kind of where the 4th stream comes in, which is funding to provide a disability swing, a swing that can be used by people who require the use of walking aids, wheelchairs, within Caldicott Park. And again, there shouldn't be a big surprise on that one, because there was unanimous support in the chamber when we brought that forward as something that we should focus on as a council. That's a quick summary of the projects within there, and I hope that we'll approve it.
I will second the recommendation, Chair.
Thank you very much. It's as if you can read my mind. Thank you very much. Any comments or questions from the Conservative group?
I can't save these for next week, can I? No, I mean, it's great to see the funding being fully allocated. I know it was something that was a little bit of a challenge at times, but I think all of us know the Hill Street Youth and Community Centre, Ben Partnership Centre and Newbold Village Hall, they're all fantastic community organisations, so it's great to see them getting a little bit of support through this funding. And obviously we wait with bated breath to see whether any further such prosperity funding might come from the new government.
I'll go on then. Well, hopefully we'll have government that will look after the whole economy, to grow the whole economy, and not have to indulge in this. But thank you. I'm sure we'll discuss that at another time. Any comments, questions from the Liberal Democrat group?
I just want to thank the working group, really, the cross-party working group. I know has done a lot of work into these particular projects, and I know there's been quite strong discussions have gone on around it. So yes, it is good to see this investment going forward, and we await to see the outcomes of that investment in the further work that we see.
Thank you very much. Can I get a show of votes for all those in favour, please? Thank you very much. That's carried. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the Finance, Performance, Legal and Governance portfolio. Item number 8. I think that's for Councillor Mystery. Finance and Performance Monitoring, Q2, 2024-25.
Thank you, Chair. I move so, and just want to quickly say this report is intended to give the Cabinet an overview of the Council's forecast spending performance position for 24-25 and to inform in any future decision that we take going forward. There are pressures across there's a couple of services, and the biggest issue is the staffing issue, and I've been banging on about it for the last 3 years, that the vacancy level is so high and been at the lower quartile of the pay scale, and trying to recruit and retention is not in a very good position, and quite clearly it's putting pressure on the financing because of the getting temporary staff, and it's quite a large figure. And the other area is similar again in the work service unit, traded services, where similar level of sickness, getting temporary staff, it just spiraling, and the biggest issue in this council is at the moment trying to recruit and retain staff.
I'll second that.
Thank you very much. Can I comments from the Conservative group?
I've got one, Chairman. It may assist the portfolio holder in the council if and when the government moves to making councils working a 4-day week.
Thank you for that input. Thank you very much. Look forward to debating that one at length. Anything from the Liberal Democrat group?
Just a couple of comments. On the 4-day week, it was a Liberal Democrat council that's found that way, and actually has shown greater efficiencies. Has actually saved quite a lot of money, and there's been extra productivity at that council, which has been legally shown and legally laid down. So it may not all be a bad thing in that sense. And it was the Conservative government, of course, with their ministers who wanted to make everybody go back to work for 5 days a week or even 6, whatever, and probably drop the productivity that was going around in there. So if you want to get into discussions about that, let's get into discussions about it and see where we go with that side of it. Coming back to Rugby Brough Council and its position at the moment, I think quite clearly this is the fag end of a budget which was set last year as we move into the new budget round. And it's some great challenges that are coming forward within the new budget that's going to be proposed in February. And within there, there'll of course be the food waste collection and a number of other things. And I look forward to the Conservative group adopting them.
Thank you very much, Councillor Roodhouse. Completely agree we're dealing with strategic issues that need long-term solutions. Hadn't expected to offer opinions on 4-day a week, so I'm all for listening, so thank you very much indeed. Can I get votes in favour then to move that item forward? Okay, that's carried. Thank you very much indeed. And then back to you, Councillor Mystery, number 9, Treasury Management Mid-Year Report, please.
I move the report and it be noted, Chairman.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Councillors Picker-Poole, do you have anything to add to this one? And the Liberal Democrat group? Okay, we'll perhaps save some debate then for full council. Thank you very much. Well, if we've had a proposer and a seconder, can I have those in favour to move that forward? Okay, thank you very much. Okay, moving swiftly on to the Communities, Homes, Regulation and Safety portfolio. Item 10, Housing, Landlord Service Complaints, Performance and Service Improvement Report 23-24. Councillor Edwards.
Thank you, Chair. I so move. Second it. Thank you, Chair. When I was appointed as portfolio holder, one of the challenges we had was an ever stronger regulation environment for us as landlords. And to that aim, we've been working very closely with partners, but particularly within the housing and communities portfolio at Rugby Brough Council to ensure that we are the very best housing providers that we can get and that our customers are at the heart of our provision. I'm really pleased that we've are now reporting on our performance on complaints in 2023-24. As you'll see from the details of the report, actually, we haven't done very well in the past. That has to change, and from now onwards, this will be under a lot more intense scrutiny. We had a system within the council where stage 1 complaints had up to 15 days to process. That has had to change, and it will now be 10 days response time. We still have a number of things that we need to put in place, but I'm confident that we will do that in the future. So I'd like councillors to accept this report, understand the reasons for lack of progress, but ensure that moving forward that we have an all-party working group that will have a transparent process to make sure that our complaints in the future are not only looked at in a timely way, but actually are pressed through the system as much as possible. Now, the important thing is that there is transparency here and that there is a plotted route where we will improve. Thank you.
Thank you sincerely. Do we have a seconder for the item? Oh, I forgot there. Thank you. Okay, going to the Conservative group. Anything to add to that, please?
One time only, Chairman. I agree with the recommendations on this one.
You'll find a much healthier level of debate on this side of the chamber, Councillor Poole. Do we have anything from the Liberal Democrats?
Just a couple of points. With the new regulatory system and everything that's coming into place for housing, of course, this is a welcome move, I think, because as the portfolio said, that has been some years since we've got into this. And I think having the cross-party working group as well to make sure we get great transparency on that will be good. So yeah, it is a welcome move.
Thank you, Councillor Reid. I just wanted to add that whilst obviously within the corporate strategy we're very, very vocal about focusing on helping the vulnerable, this is one of those areas where it's a great example of that work in practice. So it's great to see it come forward. I think equally, a mind to remind ourselves of our first priority of our corporate strategy is council staff. And again, as anything like this, I'm conscious that we're putting an additional onus on staff. So it's important to recognise their contribution in this work. So thank you very much. Do we have votes then in favour to move this item forward, please? Great, that's carried. Thank you very much. And then back to you, Councillor Edwards. We've got item number 11, Council Tax Reduction Scheme.
Thank you, Chair. I so move.
I will second it, Chair.
Sorry, I was flicking to the right page. It's a very large agenda tonight and lots of bits of paper. It's important that every year we look at our council tax reduction scheme and check that it is fit for purpose and whether there are any tweaks and changes that we ought to make. For a while we've had a discount of 85%, and the report goes into detail about how that 85% is worked through. We could change it very easily, but I think the impact on our partners who we collect council tax for, i.e. County Council, Warwickshire Police, we need to ensure that we've got a scheme that supports the most vulnerable, but gives us some room for manoeuvre in discretionary payments. So I will recommend 85%, and happy to have a discussion if you want one. Thank you.
Do we have any comments from the Conservative group, please?
I think just to say, obviously, this is in line with the previous scheme that we've had, and I remember making some of those similar points during previous debates on this issue, so happy to see that it's being continued.
Thank you, Councillor Piggott. Do we have any comments from the Liberal Democrat group?
No, it just seems like harmony, doesn't it?
It's almost Christmas. No, thank you indeed. Okay, can we have all those in favour then to move that item forward? That's carried. Thank you very much. And then going back again, once again, Councillor Edwards, item 12, support of the voluntary and community sector 25-26.
I so move.
I'll second.
Thank you very much, Chair. Support for the voluntary and community sector is something that I have long taken an active part in. In fact, at one time, no longer, but I was very active in the organisations that are listed as gaining support from the council. I've had to resign those interests, which is a great shame, but I guess I've become a bit of poacher come gamekeeper. What we wanted to do is to make sure that we had a paper that gave some clarity to our community organisations and associations so that they know what the funding package in future will be. But I wanted to make sure that actually what we want them to do will align with the emerging and detailed corporate strategy. It is only right that we put public money into our communities, but it has to be part of our corporate strategy. So I look forward to working very closely with these organisations moving forward. There are a couple of interesting tweaks in there. We still need to support the food bank, but we've put in some money to research and develop a community supermarket. We've had some very interesting and positive discussions on that already. So watch this space. But this will underpin a lot of our work in the community moving forward under the corporate strategy for the next few years, not just next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillors Paul and Pickard, do you have anything to add?
Thank you, Chairman. It's nice to see that there's a varied group of activity people that Councillor Mrs Edwards has reported to us tonight, and I agree with everything she said. Thank you.
Thank you. And the Liberal Democrat group?
Yeah, I welcome the report and the direction of travel all on this. I suppose the only bit for me really missing within the report is about the performance reporting back in to the organisation. Is actually what is the impact of the money that's being invested into these groups, and having some sort of a paragraph which clearly set out that, you know, there'll be an annual report or something which is telling me actually that this has happened, and that's actually headed off particular elements which are within the performance framework or has supported that really. So that's the only comment around that. You know, I always welcome investment into the voluntary sector and the work that they do. And perhaps in the future, you know, thinking about some of the rural sector as well, we should think about them as well.
Thank you. Councillor Edwards, would you like to come back on that?
Yes, please. Thank you. Well, actually, we have done that already, and it was in a previous cabinet in the last couple of months. So have a look. It's there. It is there, and it measures it, and it's a very good report. I have to thank our officers for putting that report together, because for the first time it reported on social impact of that funding, which I think is really important, that we demonstrate where the money goes and what value it brings to us. And going forward, we will certainly do that. That's not a problem at all. And if I point you to the final page of the report, that Appendix 4, the evidence base of why those areas get the support is there. and it's in great detail. And moving forward, as part of our corporate strategy, there will be more data. So we will make sure that everything aligns, which is wonderful. Thank you.
Indeed, all about the deliverables. Thank you very much, Councillor Edwards, for that. Could I have a show of hands? All those in favour of that motion, please? Okay, that's carried. Thank you very much. Okay, on to Operations and Traded Services Portfolio, item 13, food waste. Councillor Livesey, please.
Thank you, Chair. I'll move the report.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Livesey.
Yeah, so this is the first of a number of papers that will come before the Cabinet about the introduction of food waste collections, which is legislation says we have to do by 2026. Although a few councils already do it, most councils don't, and there's going to be a massive set of procurement exercises going on across the country. So this is about getting our foot in the door early, agreeing the funding to go ahead and procure the vehicles and the caddies that we need to do the food waste collection, because if we delay it, we'll be right at the back of the queue and may not be able to meet the statutory deadline. There are some issues with the funding. We're in a bit of a discussion with DEFRA about whether they're going to give us some more money. And we've recently asked John Slinger, the MP, to help with that discussion. And there will be further papers coming forward on the comms strategy for this, on the recruitment and training strategy for this, and also on alterations to the depot to accommodate the extra lorries and the caddies.
Thank you very much, Councillor Livesey. Anything to add from the Conservative group here, please?
So I think we'll have a fuller discussion on this at full council next week. The one thing that does occur to me is obviously we're talking about food waste collection as being the most significant change, and whether there might be any opportunity to perhaps encourage at-home composting as part of this programme. There may be something coming on that.
Thank you, Councillor Pegg. I don't quite know how to follow that. Anything from the Liberal Democrat group?
Totally agree with Councillor Pickett. The more home composting that's done, the better. Get a discount on green Joannas from the County Council.
So I was just really going to add, I think, thank you, Councillor Livesey, for your summary, because I think, again, to reiterate that the need that a move like this cuts across many different portfolios and affects many different aspects of what this council's trying to achieve. So I think it's absolutely right to get in those first initial orders, as you pointed out. But I think we've said at length in different meetings to the chief officer for the portfolio just the need to fully support what's been proposed here, because it will represent significant change to the council's function and how it works in the community. So the more we can plan and prepare, and the better the outcomes will be. So thank you very much, Councillor Livesey. All those in favour of that motion, please? Okay, that's carried. Thank you very much. And unless I'm mistaken, that's the end of the agenda for this evening. Indeed. So thank you very much. Good evening.